Now that in my head, I know that some of the leads on this game are horrible
Yeah.
people, I'm like, I don't know if I can toggle it.
Didn't you draft Diablo last year?
I was desperate, Hunter. I was desperate. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of the HGO podcast. I'm one of your hosts today, Ethan, and joining me, as always, are my good friends Kyle
Hello.
and Hunter. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just swell.
It is time, ladies and gentlemen. New year, new me, new fantasy draft, baby. It's time. Let's go, guys. Fourth year. It's what could possibly go wrong? It's the most wonderful time of the year. Fuck Christmas off. Fuck your holiday spirit. It's fantasy spirit times, and it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it. Can we ignore last year, though? Right? That's
No,
No, Kyle took second.
I quite like last year.
I'm holding that.
Oh, what the hell? What a nerd, dude. Thing is, last week I had to go out of my way to go and buy on Amazon a t-shirt with a shitty JPEG of Crash Bandicoot on it for my costume. You 100% already had that. Don't
Yeah,
even
I
lie
already
to me.
have this. I put this on every year for a tongue-in-cheek birthday picture.
Of
And
course
I've
you
got
do. That
More
that
than one
sounds about right.
occasion for it.
That sounds about right. Of course you do. But yes, if you can't tell by the crown on the video version, if you're on the audio version, you might want to hop over to video this week because Fantasy Critic is always it's good to have a visual aid. But yeah, Hunter's got a crown on because, as you may have guessed, Hunter for the first time has won the fantasy draft for year 3. We'll go over
Time
all
to
of the
forfeit your
results.
crown, Ethan.
Oh, what a shame! I took the L. We'll go over it in a second, but yeah. We'll talk about the results, and then we'll get into picking our fantasy draft picks for the year. And if you're new here, stick around. I'll explain the whole mechanics to you as we go through it. It'll be fun, I assure you. But yeah, if you're new here, welcome on in. This is the HGO podcast. We're here every Monday around 5 p.m. UK time, 12 p.m. Eastern on podcast services, and just slightly later on youtube.com/Hot Gamers Only, where you can look at our stupid faces, sometimes wearing crowns each and every week. Bit of housekeeping. Obviously, last year we did all of our HGA's Game of the Year awards, all of that stuff. So if you're looking for our opinions of games last year, you're not going to get much of that this year. On this episode, you're going to get more of the nitty-gritty. Do we think the points were valid, blah, blah, blah. If you want our actual thoughts and feelings on video games, go back to last week's. It's over 2 hours long. There are plenty of opinions. So yeah, it's a big one. So go and check that one out if you've missed it. It's a good one. And then, yeah, new year, new us. We're going to get into reviews as they're coming down the pipeline. So if you're looking at some of these games going, oh, they're interested, I can't wait to see what they think about it when it comes out and not just talk about the arbitrary score that they think it's going to get, then good news. You can either subscribe to the podcast, just follow us on Hot Gamers Only everywhere, or search for the HGO podcast on your favourite podcast services for first impressions. Or as we continue doing reviews like we did last year, we did over, God, I can't remember the number in the end. I think we did over 20 odd reviews last year in 1 year.
It was a lot.
Something ridiculous. We did a lot. We're planning to continue that down the line. That wasn't just an annual 1 year thing. We are planning to do that for the rest of this year as well. So if you're interested in our full overall opinions, then stick with us at youtube.com/hotgamers.
us to make like 2 this year.
No, I guarantee we're gonna make. We're gonna at least make Final Fantasy and Persona 3. I can promise you that much.
Yeah,
That's at least 2.
That's at least 2. But there'll be plenty more to come. So either go to hotgamersonly.com where you can look at all of our reviews so far in a written format, or go to youtube.com/hotgamersonly where you can listen to our voices read the exact same text with slight corrections because if it's anything like my reviews, I edit them while I'm reading them when I'm doing the narration, so it's all good.
Yeah, sometimes if I don't like
Yeah.
the way that I'm trying to say something, I change it on the fly.
It's like sometimes you're writing something, you're like, that looks good, but then you say it out loud, you're like, it doesn't flow correctly.
There are so many instances where I've been writing a review and be like, yes, these words are great. And then I go to say it and I'm like, why do I do this to myself? I hate
There's so many
everything.
sentences where I'm like, why do I always choose the alliterate? Like I always when I'm writing, like writing just a little bit of alliteration to make myself laugh or something like that, or go for a really random word just for the sake of it. It's really funny until I'm sitting there at 9 o'clock at night with Audacity open, literally trying to say the same line 8 times in a row and it never coming out. It's great fun. But yeah, if you want to go and check them out, go ahead. They're all on youtube.com/hotgamersonly. And thank you for the support as always. Let's get into it by starting off with our 2023 recap. if you are on the video version, then lucky you, by the power of the internet right now, wow, you can see the scores and everything. You can see what I
Whoa.
see. That's crazy. It's like witchcraft. If you're on the podcast services, like I say, you might want to go on YouTube just so you can see it. And if not, that's cool. If you get a bit confused, you might have to scrub through. It can get a bit in the numbers. That's if you've ever done a sports fantasy draft, which I haven't, so I don't know why I'm acting like I have, but they can be very nitty-gritty in the numbers, very metagamey. So come along with us for the ride. It's going to be pretty interesting. As you can see at the top, Hunter won by a landslide this year with 226 points. Kyle got second with 189. I got third with 175. 0.94 though. I'll round it up to make myself feel better. Wow, still miles away from everybody else. That's great. I guess we'll start with you, Hunter. You came up on top. This is yours, doing
Yeah.
swell. Inc. How do you feel you did last year?
Oh, I feel like I was feeling pretty good off of the episode from last year in the first place, because on top of Zelda, I had faith in Street Fighter and Resident Evil being pretty great as well. And then I think my other picks from there were, good enough to make the lead that those would grant me just carry on. Like, I think Armored Core was a good shout. Forspoken was a mistake, but hey, I could have
What was
afford it.
I don't know if you remember the thought process behind that or not.
I don't know. I think it was.
I want it on record. We didn't think it'd be that bad when it was coming out. There wasn't.
Yeah. I thought it might
We
still
didn't
be
know.
good at the time.
We thought it'd be. We still thought Forspoken would be alright.
Like-
I had pre-ordered it, intending to play it, and then I sent it back. But we ignore that part. But
Like,
we thought it'd be decent.
yeah. Like the preview material, people seemed to only really be focused on, oh, the writing's bad, and I'm like, well, the gameplay itself still looked like it could be cool. The way that
Yeah.
you move around in the world still looked like it could be fun, and all of that. Even if the writing is bad, that's never stopped people from enjoying Marvel movies. So,
That's true, and I think it's one of the least costly mistakes of the fantasy draft this year.
Yeah.
Losing 3. Both me and Kyle had bigger losses. In fact, I think this is the first time in fantasy draft history where we lost double-digit negative points on a pick, and 2 of us did that
Yeah.
in the same year, which is quite an achievement. By the way, Hunter, move your mic, either speak slightly louder or move your mic close, because I'm sorry, King, I'm sorry, Your Highness, but you're talking too quietly.
Sorry,
speak
sire.
up. Your subjects in the back cannot hear you, my liege. But I think I think the mistake that we made
on my behalf.
Yeah, which we didn't realize, Kyle, is
What?
I don't know if, because I feel like, we made some decent first picks, 88 for 16, 90 for Spider-Man, which, let's be real here, Spider-Man shot higher than it was supposed to even shoot. So even that was a bit of a baller. The fact that we allowed Hunter to basically get the 3 top scoring games of the fantasy
I'm
draft.
sorry, who's we? You won last year and got to choose where you went. You gave him Tears of the Kingdom,
No,
my dude.
but I'm saying
Kyle had no involvement in this.
No,
Kyle didn't get
no,
to pick
Kyle,
where he went.
I said 3. I said top 3. I'll admit, I gave him Tears of the Kingdom. There was neither me or you thought that we'd go and get Resident Evil 4 or Street Fighter 6. We both had 2 opportunities to get both of them because of the way the draft worked. We let Hunter have a clean pass through those 2, which I still think is kind of miraculous. That's on us, really. That's a bad kind of predicament.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to be able to get all of these. It's like, when you list these out, you kind of predict what the next pick is going to be. Like, I knew that Final Fantasy 16 probably wasn't going to be on the table for round 2. I wasn't really expecting Resident Evil 4 to be on the table for round 2 either.
Well, my thing, was like, I thought that the first 3 to go would be Tears of the Kingdom, 16 and Spider-Man. Those were the 3 that I was like,
yeah,
they're probably going to go first. Then I'd be like, if we were smart here, then we'd probably then go with RE4, Street Fighter 6, and then maybe Silk Song, because we all still had hope that Silk Song was going to come out in 2023. But it's like, I picked Silk Song, which was a bad second pick looking back at it now, because there was probably better things to pick. And then Kyle picked Survivor, which I forgot was even coming out. And then it's like, you got the little back-to-back, which was kind of crazy. I think the rest of your starting pick was pretty good. But you did the Hunter Classic, where I wouldn't necessarily have put some of these in my first 10. Like, I feel
You
like you could have
know,
got away with them.
I like making it interesting.
Hmm. But I think overall you had a pretty solid run about it. You know, you had
Mhm.
a couple of classic Hunter misses with a last case of Benedict Fox and Ravenlock. You know, Hunter always has a couple of indie games that are gonna
Yeah, it's what
It
can you do?
happens.
kind of yeah toe the line. And then, you know, some solid games at the start. Humanity didn't expect that to do so well. Alan Wake 2 was a bit of a sleeper until it was coming out.
Yeah,
Um,
see. I figured I didn't up until like people started buzzing about it in the couple months prior. I was expecting it like an 85
mhm.
rather than like an 89 is what it got
Same. I
me.
was, especially because it was coming out digital only. I'm like, I think they're rushing this. I think this is coming
Mm.
out, gonna come in hot, and it didn't. So yeah, fair enough. And then, you know, a couple of lower fillers near the end, but you didn't have to try near the end because
You
you'd already
really didn't.
solidified your victory
No.
long ago. And two counterpicks, nice 0. The only 0 of the league, but that's still not the best score that you could have had, Hunter. So you just have to settle for middle of the pack with that one.
Oh,
Um,
I think this is the first year that we've actually made counter picks that hurt us.
Speak for you, yeah. Well, oh, yeah, you did. You made some really harsh counterpicks there.
No,
I
I
did
mean
it
as a
out of
collective.
Hunter, you can say it. You don't have to be so kind about it. You can say that I self-destructed in the in the attempt of acting fucking cocky, but trying to have the
Losing on
moral high
turn
ground.
one.
Dude, yeah,
No, I mean like aside from I don't remember what Sam and Jack counter picked at this point, but the three of us had always got zeros on the counter picks
yeah.
altogether. Like it'd been the net neutral for everybody.
Here's the thing, Hunter. Someone had to be Obi-Wan Kenobi, dude. It had to be. I have the high ground for a little bit, just for in a couple of months' time, for me to get old, and then Hogwarts Legacy to strike me in the back, and I disappear, and the fucking cloak falls to the ground. You know, it's like it had to happen eventually. It's but for that one
I like
moment,
how you
I
mixed the
did.
two different events of Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan won the encounter that he had the high ground on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
It
won
was
the
when
high
they were on
ground as
even
well.
ground that he lost.
I won the moral high ground of the draft day, going "fuck you, Hogwarts Legacy, you piece of shit," and then I lost.
But he lost the
re-
moral
the-
war.
I lost. No, I didn't. I'm still. Let's be real here. Obi-Wan is still the hero. He just died.
Yeah.
Oh well. Live and learn, I guess. Live and learn. Kyle, let's go over to you. Much stronger the performance than your years past. You're learning. The man is evolving into some
Yeah.
little gamer nerd over here. How are you feeling that you did this year?
So my strategy going into the 2023 draft pick was focus heavily on stuff in the initial draft on stuff that was
Mhm.
already dated and slated to come out. And I think like 8 of the 10 games I picked off the cuff were all slated to come out or
Yeah,
all had a date at that point. I think that strategy paid out pretty well.
I do too. Some may say it is a boring approach to not have a Hail Mary at the end like Hunter does, but you know, Hunter's Hail Marys are volatile at best, so you better, like, you know, it's
Yeah.
not for everybody. Um,
Look, dude, I was coming off 2022 where I just kind of crapped the bed. I'm looking back on it. I didn't even finish filling out my bracket. I still had 2 open slots there. So I'm like, I just need a redemption arc right now. I
and I
don't care
think it,
how boring my play is.
And I think, like you said, I think for the most part, your starters were pretty damn good. Something
Yeah.
like Atomic Heart, you know, again, below average. When we're talking about averages here, if you're new here, usually a 77 is the average score that for a game. So most games will land around a 77. That's the average that we're talking about. If something is lower than a 77, it's underperformed for the draft. If it's over, it's overperformed.
But points
to,
wise, anything 70 and anything above 70 gets points.
everything above 70 gets points, but you're looking for something over 77 to really make an impact.
Yeah.
So something like 74 doesn't cost you anything, or a 70 doesn't cost you anything, but again, it's more of a dead weight.
You'd want something better.
I don't even remember what After Us was. I don't even remember that.
It
That was
was
the
like
anime Journey.
Yeah.
Anime Journey, my favorite.
That was one that I was considering dropping at one point, but I got to it too late.
And I mean, it didn't hurt you as much as it could have, so
Yeah. just a neutral 70.
Neutral 70, you know, it is what it is.
I think looking at my overall list, one game I expected to do a lot better than it did was the System Shock remake.
I thought that was gonna do better than it did too, because I tried to pick it up and you outbid me.
Oh, really?
So thanks for that.
Yeah.
You see, System Shock to me always screamed, and I don't like saying it. It screamed kind of cheap. It's not got Embracer's involvement in it because that thing screamed to me Embracer remake that just kind of. I don't want to like it was like THQ Battle for Bikini Bottom. It kind of gave me those kinds of vibes where it's like it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
remake, but it's probably a small team working on something.
Yeah, Night Dive is pretty small, so
Mm.
It gave me that kind of vibe. I'd say the only stumble, like, Mario Bros. Wonder,
Yeah.
we'll talk about me. I think it's an absolutely fucking idiotic move that I did on my part, that I decided, haha, Persona game comes out, Persona go burr, instead of going, hang on, Nintendo just announced 2 massive Mario games, probably should try and get one of them, Ethan, and I didn't even bid. So, that was an L on my part. But,
Wasn't the bracket full at that point?
no, it was the same
No,
week.
it wasn't.
Yeah. So I could have very easily
Yeah.
have taken Wonder as my final spot because I had like $100 left as well. I could have very easily have outbidded everyone at that point, and I didn't, like a fucking
Mm.
moron.
I think
But yeah, I'd say
bid
your
for
biggest
Mario Wonder,
fault, in my opinion, was God of Rock. That was like the big
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. That's one of those
Which-
things, like, it looked like a cool idea. Basically, it was like a rhythm-based fighting game, and it seemed like a cool idea. I'm like, sure,
Cool
why
in
not? I'll try
concept,
it.
not in execution.
it was
Apparently
funny.
bad
I saw that
execution.
showed up. I saw that show up on your list, and I was like, I respect the idea of
But
picking
no.
it, but also critics hate Modus, and I don't think it'll come through super high. So I tried to
Yeah,
counterpick it.
I
but
saw the
Ethan
week
got there
that Cal put
first.
that on his fantasy draft, and I went out like emo Peter Parker doing the finger guns and going cow pick. Like, I was like, we got it.
Mm.
Maybe that'll help burn the Hogwarts Legacy, and it did kind of help me a little bit to get me a bit more at par. But looking
It
at your
helped offset
counterpicks,
it.
strongest counterpicks of the year.
Yeah. Crash Team Rumble and Axolotl both gave me +1 point.
Which is. I'm still pissed off, to be honest, about both of those games. To be honest, I'm like,
Hazelotl deserved a little better.
Yeah.
or I'm just like
Crash Team
Sonic.
Rumble was fair.
I don't know if it is, because I'm like, if we're talking that, then I'm like, I can see
It's a
many a
game that's a
game.
service that's going to be dead in a month.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It was launch. It's launch numbers. By that logic, then it's like, wow, dude, look at Genshin Impact with how shitty it's been. We should probably. It's got like an 82. I'm like, get not that down. Fucking hell, get that. By that logic, but it is what it is. Do you have any final closing remarks on your draft this year, Kyle?
I think my biggest takeaway is I'm probably never gonna bet on a Sonic game again.
That's always a good bet.
That's a good idea.
That's probably the logic I should have had anyways, but Sonic
That's-
Superstars, yeah.
It's always good. It's never a
was a
good
video
idea to bet
game.
on Sonic, dude. Sorry, Sonic fans, but I'll apologize for that when you have a good game again, which by my calculations will be at least another decade still. So hope you're still around. Let's look at
How long do
mine. Is
you
what
eat
I would
them?
like to call. Let's have a look at the Icarus example here of how to not do a fantasy draft. I think my issue was that I didn't even prepare a single second for this fantasy draft when we started. So if you go back and watch last year's, I was Googling answers for my draft as we were going along.
Yeah, you were.
I was a bit too cocky for my thing. First point of failure, right here, naming it after something that's going to fail in general, that's always a bad thing. So that was a bad idea. P.S. He thought, no, that's bad. Get that in the bin. Hollow Knight really fucked me in the end, didn't it?
It just
By not doing anything. Yeah.
Well,
There's
not
like a
even
weight
that.
attached to your ankle.
Yeah, because not only was it a highly anticipated game that I was relying on doing well, they didn't even have the decency to delay it out of the year to give me a chance to drop it and put something else in. It was a dead weight from the beginning, which was kind of a shame because they only ever delayed it out of the first half of 2023. They never delayed it out of the year entirely, which would have been very great. I would have been really grateful for, because as I say, Asgard's Wrath 2 for Oculus was a game that I was sitting there for weeks going, if it drops Silksong, I'm picking that. If it's and literally it comes out and it's got a really high score, I'm like, fucking damn it! Why didn't you just let me drop it? Like,
Did you not have
Literally.
your unconditional drop at this
nope.
point?
My one unconditional
Ye-
drop was can't remember what it was. It was a
Would have been
game.
Suicide Squad.
No, it wasn't Suicide Squad because Suicide Squad was delayed out of the year. It was Counter-Strike 2
Oh
because it
yeah.
counted as an update in the end. But even then, I don't understand why that's my problem and I have to use it as my unconditional drop. That was a bit bullshit, but oh well, it happened. So yeah. Other than that, you know, like a Dragon Gaiden scoring at 79, that's low for a Yakuza game, which is rightfully so. It doesn't have the Cabaret Club minigame in it, so, you know, fucking burn it, mate. Get it out of here.
I drafted the better Yakuza game.
Which is funny, because it's a
I
fucking
got an 81.
remaster, so it's not even like... Yeah,
Hell
not
yeah.
even. I wouldn't even class that as the better one. Looking at both of them, I'm like, to be honest, like a Dragon Gaiden does look better. Why did it... I think it's just Yakuza fatigue.
Yeah.
Got a bit of Yakuza spin-off problems, maybe. Forza scored way lower than I thought it would, an 84. Like, I was expecting an 89 on that bad boy. Unacceptable, really. Fire Emblem Engage, I stabbed you in the back to grab it, not for much point, really. Horizon Core of the Mountain the same way. Crash Team Rumble was a funny bet. I don't really care about that one. I then started to go into panic mode, and another issue I had was I spent the months 4 to 6 of the year then just filling my thing out, thinking that the thing was out, like I just needed to get stuff in here, and it never
you
really
started
worked
going
out.
ham.
Yeah,
at
and
this
it
time.
didn't work out. You can tell by all the 70s that are in here before Redfall, which had a fucking massive nuke to it.
Yeah, Redfall.
Again, though,
I don't
Redfall you
even
can't
remember anything
account
about
for.
it.
You like I can look at something like God of Rock and go, oh Kyle, you sweet summer child, you fucking idiot, that's gonna do terribly. Redfall, I'm like, I thought the idea of
think
Redfall was
going
cringe.
into it, I was expecting like 75, not
75. I was like
57.
I was like late 70s, early 80s, because I was like, even though I think the premise is cringe and awful, people like Arcane and someone will like it in the Xbox side of it. So I was like, that was fine. No, the game came out and it's a fucking mess. So fuck you, Phil. You done me dirty here.
That darn Xbox tax.
That darn Xbox tax and nuked it into oblivion. You know, if that was a PlayStation exclusive, it would have got a 59, and that's just not fair.
If only it was Destruction All Stars instead.
Yeah.
Do you just think if it was a Nintendo game, would have got a 67?
Yeah.
Ooh, baby.
Gotta
And I mean,
add 10 points.
Like I say, you know, just a load of mediocrity, really. Even Oxenfree 2, a game that I was expected to do better than a 78, only got a 78. Persona 5 Tactica, again, 78. Fucking awful when looking at it in retrospect. I paid $70 or whatever of my Fortnite bucks to get that when I should have bought Mario Wonder.
70 on it?
Yeah.
I think he just like dumped the rest of his money.
I dumped the rest of my
on
money
it.
because that was all I had. That was my last slot until I dropped Counter-Strike because I had to. Talos Principle 2 was a good final pick. I'll give it that. That was a good Hail Mary at the end, but it wasn't good enough. And then, yeah, looking at my counter picks, I lost 14 on Hogwarts Legacy, but gained 11 on God of Rock. So I technically had both the worst and best counter pick off of the draft. So I'm pretty proud of that. That's pretty impressive. But overall, a pretty awful year for me. With all that out of the way, I guess, there's our little review. Congratulations, Hunter. There will be a punishment for both. We've changed it up this year, but we decided to do punishments in company from now on. So both myself and Kyle will be doing a punishment. Next year, whoever loses, everybody who loses does the punishment. Hunter, have you come up with anything yet?
Not yet.
Cool. We'll keep you updated on that one. Last year, Kyle had to play Elden Ring, which... to be fair, would have worked for Hunter as well because he still hasn't played it. So, you know, that would have been a good punishment for him to do. Oh, well.
The only reason it would have been a punishment for me would have been because because the year was so packed that I'd be like, I need to play other things.
Oh, fuck off. You weren't sitting there in February going, oh, it's a bit crowded.
Yeah, dude, you could have played it with me in March.
I was busy in March.
What was going on in March?
Yeah, sure you were.
Either Octopath, because that was right at the end of February, or Resident Evil.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen.
Resident Evil was the end of March.
timestamp it down. It was the end of March. Timestamp that bad boy down. It's time to start a new year of 2024. We will have 3 players once again in the league. We're doing a standard game. Again, we're keeping most of the things the same. There'll be 20 games that we pick in total, 10 today, which is a lot harder than it was last year because there's a lot less announced. So, total number of counter picks to draft. We're going to keep all this the same. The minimum bid amount, as we did last year, will be $1. We are not having any freebies in the league because that makes it boring, because then everyone just does $0 when they know they're going to get a game, and then they just still have the 100 to keep going. So we're not doing that. The bidding system, we're keeping it secret bidding. Because I feel like public bidding is going to get extremely messy, so we'll keep it a secret for now. And are we keeping no trades on?
Yeah, cool. With 3 people, I don't think it's worth it.
So
it'd be hard for it to not feel just conspiratory with only 3 people.
Yeah, that's true. So anyway, we have got the game dropping settings. What have we got here? Will release. Are we keeping it at 1 will release?
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Yeah.
Will not release, unlimited, any unreleased. We'll keep it as it is. We're not enabling super drops. I probably could have benefited from a super drop last year, but we're not going to do it.
Super drop, like you have to pay to.
If someone is someone is super far behind, then they get to drop one of their games unconditionally, just so that they can keep themselves back in the race. It's basically if you have someone who is extremely behind. We might if someone is extremely behind.
I don't feel like I would trust the way that the website would calculate
determining
that.
it. But
because imagine if you just
what we will do though, we will make a homie. We'll make a little truth circle here, and if someone is really far behind, then I will let them drop. If they have like a really fucking tanky game, then we will let them drop that one game to bring them back up again. But that's only if there's a huge gap where it's like someone's 50 points behind and it's June already. Like we'll do that, right? Yeah. We'll work it out. We're keeping the tags the exact same. We're not allowing early access because that gets messy. We are not allowing games that are in early access now and have reviews because, again, it makes things messy.
Yeah.
Remasters.
It's another thing to pay attention to.
Remasters are staying off. Remakes are staying on. Remember, some games that you think are remasters are technically remakes, and some games that are technically remakes are actually remasters. I can't do anything about it, to be honest. We'll go with
the system.
Blame the system. And as always, if a game is coming out in Japan first, you can pick it. This is a new thing that they did, which was special slots.
What?
Special
what does
slots?
That mean? Like I can add fire to one of them?
But no. So you can. So what you can do, which I think we do this, is add an extra slot, which I think will be fun, called Unannounced Game.
Oh.
You get a Hail Mary, and if a game exists by the end of the year, you get it. No fucking conditions required. That is the spice for the 4th year of the fantasy draft, ladies and gentlemen. Hunter gets his Hail Mary
from the beginning. It's built in now.
Yeah.
Too bad I don't have any wacky predictions, but
don't worry. Well,
something.
Hunter, you have got roughly an hour to come up with one, so good luck, my friend. It's just an unannounced game, and you get that extra special slot. As always, we changed it last year. We are only doing 1.5 points over 90. Hunter was already miles ahead of everybody with it being 1.5. We are keeping that because 2 points is way too many. Game release rule must be released. Counterpick deadline is the last day of November, so you need to have a counterpick by the end of November, just so you're aware. If you enable this option, then after this date, a game that is considered might release will be treated like a will not release. Oh! How are we feeling on that?
On what? I wasn't listening. Sorry.
You can set a certain date that that might release games. If it's after a certain date, then all might release games will be counted as not releasing if they don't have a release date. So we could say that if games don't have a date by the 30th of November, then you get that final month to try and cram it in with whatever's left if you so feel.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Shall we go with that? That would
why not?
That would very
that would have helped
helpfully-
you with Silk Song.
Yeah, potentially. December 2023. No, I want 2024, baby. Can I? Why is this so garbage? Oh, I've got to use the cursor keys. This is, oh yes, this is so hot. What good UI. I know it's made by one person and he does it for free, and I really do appreciate you, but this is cringe. Right, you have until the Saturday the 30th of November. If a game doesn't have a date yet, by Saturday the 30th of November, it'll be counted as a will not release. You can drop it if it's in your original 10. If anyone feels fucking suicidal enough to have Hollow Knight again, then be my guest, as Lumiere would say. Anyway, and with that, we confirm it. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready for a new era of the fantasy draft. Why am I not in here?
You need to.
Oh, I have to create a publisher. Have you guys already created the publishers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did
you're ahead of
refresh
yourself, guys.
it a little
I
bit.
did it while you were talking.
You're good. You're good, boys. You're good. Ethan can't think of a fun this
I've run
time,
out
so-
of clever ones, so I'm just reusing.
Yeah,
my
I'm
one
not
from a couple
reusing
years
mine.
ago.
So
I've
we're
been
going with
reusing.
Ethersoft this year, guys. We're going with Ethersoft, and we're hoping that
I don't know, Kyle. I think you should go back to Peepo Industries. That was funny.
No, they're defunct.
oh dear,
Sage.
it was a bad year for them. It was a
It
bad
was
year.
not a good year for them.
Mm.
So, shall we begin? As we always do, I need to set. How do I change the draft order? This is where we edit draft order. Here we go. Manual. As always, the reward for winning the fantasy draft, which is never a gracious victory, is that you get to pick which place in the snake draft you go first. Hunter, you are
I'm
the
gonna
winner.
take first pick.
Yep. So where do you want to go first? Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
first.
absolutely shocked. Kyle, for the first time ever in the fantasy draft, you get to choose where you would like to be in the snake draft. Would you like to be second or third?
I would like to go last, please.
Fucking saw that one coming. So there we go. I'm in the middle. Once again. Well, not once again, for the
Wow.
first time, actually.
Check it out, Hunter. Monkey in the middle.
Dude, what a joke. To be honest, if I did see this coming, I should have edited the webcam so we were in snake draft order on the vertical, but we're not.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Oh well. Sorry. Maybe next time. Confirm draft order. Right. So, I'm just trying to remember where I start the draft. Where do I start the draft? Does anyone remember where draft a game is? Am I stupid?
Isn't it just off on the side?
My
You're
publisher's
the owner
watch
of
list,
this.
Manage
I don't
league,
think
post
we
new
see
message,
these
create first
options.
publish, create publish user, edit draft order. How do I draft? Oh, start. Oh, I'm a fucking idiot. Right. Once you start
Press the
drafting,
start button.
we have pressed the draft
Press
button,
start
and then I can draft
play.
the next game. Hunter,
Yes.
we are ready to go. What is your first pick? I
Oh,
already know
man.
what it is. I'm going to hover over it. What's your first
Yeah.
pick for the fantasy draft of 2024, Hunter?
So I'm gonna go with the obvious one, even though I was between Final Fantasy and Persona, because
Mhm.
honestly, Persona typically seems to review a little bit better. But I think that
Mm.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is gonna hit a little bit differently for everybody, so I'm gonna pick that one.
Okay, I'm so shocked that it's been up on the entire time that this screen has been up. Congratulations, Hunter. I'm going to add the game to you, and that is going in your... Oh, that's weird. Okay, let's do that then.
Oh.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is locked in for Hunter. I am shocked. Booty boo, indeed. I'm going to mute the tab because I don't like that fucking noise. I don't know if it's going to come up. I think it's obvious for me. I knew I was going second because I had a feeling that this is the way it goes. If you go last, you go in the middle so you don't get 2 picks back to back. I was like, that's how it's probably going to go. So, of course, I know what I was going to pick next. It's Persona 3 Reload. Of course I am. It was the Persona shill. I'm kind of happy
Yeah.
I'm here because I was going to cry. No, I wasn't. I was planning it. But, yeah, Persona 3 Reload. Persona's banger game, dude. Let's get it in there. No questions asked. Kyle, where are you going next, my friend? First pick. You get 2 back to back. So,
yeah.
no pressure.
So, right now, why don't we just complete the JRPG trifecta and give me Paper Mario Thousand Year Door.
Fair enough. Paper Mario. And Thousand Year Door. This was one of the ones that when I was saying remake and remaster, this is the one I was thinking of.
I didn't know what they were going to say it was, so I didn't write this one
No,
down.
it is a remake. I knew it would be a remake as well, so I was like, yeah, that's a smart pick. So yeah, adding that to your publisher list, Kyle, not a bad first pick at all. And you get to go again. What's your second pick?
My second pick, I'm going to take Tekken 8.
I'm shocked. Absolutely shocked. Yeah, I think that's a good pick, dude. I do think that's a good pick. I was saying this, I don't remember, was it Hunter? Was I talking to you about this like 2 months ago where I'm like talking about next year and I'm like, Tekken has got like an 87 or whatever every time it comes out, every single time. It's like an 82 or something. I'm like,
so
I think it's, or is it an 85? I think it's an 85 every time, but it's very consistent in doing that. So I think it's a very good pick. I'm gonna have to consult my list now as I am moving stuff away.
Last year I held off a bit too long on Street Fighter, not making that mistake again.
I think it's funny, pal, because we're staying in the JRPG. We have been living in Japan, and I'm continuing that because my next pick, I think this game is going to be huge. I really do, because I think if the last one was any indication of how people really liked this change in the franchise, I think that this is going to be even bigger. I'm going with Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I think this game is going to be a banger, dude. I genuinely people just love Like a Dragon so much, the first one, that I'm like, yeah. Hawaii, it being twice the size of it. This is like the big game they've been working on for like 4 years. Like, yeah, 100%. I think this game's going to be huge.
Good pick.
Hunter, you get 2 picks.
All right. Well, my pick, the first one, I'm going to go with Prince of Persia, whatever the rest of the title is called.
Prince of Persia. Okay.
Yeah. I think that, the team behind the Rayman games, people are... Prince of Persia is a series that's been dormant for a while. This isn't going to be the disaster remake that seems to be on hold.
Well, you never know. It is Ubisoft. It's a 50-50.
Yeah. So
I think it's a solid pick, man.
Yeah.
It was definitely in my top picks to go for, especially because it's coming out so soon. It's literally like in a week or two. It's crazy. But yeah, I think that's a good pick. Let's add that to your publisher list. What's your second one?
All right, my second one, I'm going to go to the opposite end of the royalty spectrum. Princess Peach Showtime, I think, will be one that, if nothing else, Nintendo fans will like, and thus it will review respectably.
Princess Peach Showtime, good pick, actually. I'm going to take that away, and I'm also going to take that away, which is crazy, because it wasn't that high on my list. So,
yeah, I didn't think that'd be going this early.
Neither did I. But I think it's a solid game. It's a Nintendo Easy 80 something, at least, right? Even shitty Yoshi games will get like a 79. So it's like I feel like the personality and what I've seen from it, I think it looks pretty solid.
I feel like it has the potential to be like an 84 or something.
I do too. I think
people like it like they like Pikmin, maybe even absurdly high.
No, I can see it. I'm gonna add that to your publisher list because that's the thing as well. Is what you gotta remember is Nintendo genuinely has like not many games coming out this year. It has like a handful of them, so I genuinely do think that that's a good pick. Now I
Yeah.
have two options for my next pick. I feel like I'm gonna go for it. I think I'm gonna go for it. I feel it's a bit of a risky move,
He's
but it's
drafting
also
Silksong again.
no, it's not Hollow
No,
Knight
I
Silk
don't
Song.
know about
Fuck
that.
off.
Do it, you coward.
No. I think it's going to come out this year. I think if Xbox has one exclusive this year, it is. And I'm mean business, Hunter. You can take that crown off next year, bitch. Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. I am
That is a
taking
good
it.
pick.
I think it's coming out this year. And to be honest, I was like, do I play the PlayStation exclusive, or do I go for the one Xbox exclusive that I think has a damn chance of coming out this year? And I'm like, I'm gonna go for it. There was another game that's higher in my list, but I'm not gonna lie to you. When I ordered my list of games, I thought Hunter would have taken this by now. So I'm gonna strike while I can, I guess. So yeah, I'm drafting Hellblade 2, Senua's Saga. Kyle, you've got two games, buddy.
I know. And I'll tell you what they are.
Go for it.
So first one I'm gonna pick is Tales of Kenzera.
Is
Is
this
that
where I do a Who
new
May Go
Tales
Lol, dude?
game or
No,
is
it's not. It's
this
Zao.
just
It's Zao.
unrelated? Oh, that one.
Yep,
Yeah,
it
this was
is.
shown at the Game Awards.
I forgot what the first part of
Good,
it was
good
called.
pick. Good pick. This was pretty high on my sleeper picks. I didn't know if anyone was going to pick this early on, so I think this
Well,
is a solid pick. I
much
genuinely
like
do.
you when we were watching the Game Awards, I was also writing stuff down
Well, it's in my
doc.
sleeper pick side, so I will say that you would have had more chances to get this if it was up to me. But also Prince of Persia was also in my sleeper picks because I don't trust Ubisoft 100% anymore. Because who does? Like I genuinely, I would love it, but I think it's a good pick, Kyle. I do think that's a very good
Yeah.
pick. What's your
Um,
second one?
Second up, I'm gonna go with Rise of the Ronin.
Oh, you bastard! That was the one that I was fucking going to get if I didn't go for
Yes.
Hellblade. That was literally my next one. That's a good pick.
Ugh.
It's the Neo team, and
Yeah,
Neo 2 did
looks
so
really
well
good.
critically that I'm like, yeah, of course.
That's the reactions I wait for in this fantasy draft.
That was a good one. That's a very good pick. Any particular reasons other than you like the look of it and might play it?
No, I like the look of it and I might play it. It looks really freaking cool.
Hmm.
And again, made by the Neo team. I loved Neo 2.
Don't we all? Everyone loves Neo 2, apparently. I'm like,
It's a great game.
I liked the first one. I didn't play much of 2.
that's such a good pick. Those are them two gone. Right. My next one. A bit out of my wheelhouse, but people have been bigging this game up as it keeps going, and I don't know why, but you know, I feel like I'm gonna go with the hype a bit. Dragon's Dogma 2. People have been
Oh, nice.
going after this. What people really like the original, and it didn't review particularly well. But you know, when it's like Alan Wake 1 didn't review particularly well when it came out. I feel like it's going to be one of those diamonds in the rough where I'm hoping it gets a bit of a kick up the bum, and then everyone's like, "Oh, this new one's great."
This is like Itsuno came back to this because he wants to make it. So
Yeah.
I think it'll make
Also,
something good out of it.
just you can just add a couple of other things as well that you never really think of. As Capcom, it's on the RE engine, just other stuff like that. Where I'm like, this game is gonna at least look beautiful, whether it plays terribly or not. That's another one thing. But I'm like, from the visual side of this thing, it's got half of the job already done. So I'm hoping. I'm gonna cross my fingers for it.
I think that's a good pick. I mean, Capcom's been doing a really good job with their legacy franchises as of late.
They haven't been fucking up a lot recently, Capcom, and I'm hoping this isn't the start of a new trend. But yeah, I feel like that's what I'm gonna pick. Hunter, you've got two now. You've waited a little while. What have you got for us?
I think for this one, this is hilarious. I didn't think I'd be picking two Ubisoft games this year, but I'm gonna give a chance to that Star Wars Outlaws game.
Oh, really?
Damn.
I don't
Give
know.
a
I think
reason
it
for
looks
your
like
answer.
I don't know. I feel like it looks like it's different enough from what we've been getting from Jedi to where it's like fascinating. It doesn't feel redundant to what's already on the market. It also feels like it's different enough to everything else that Star Wars is currently doing, that as long as the game is solid,
You
I
see,
think
I'd
people will
agree with
like
you
it.
in most parts, but also it's Ubisoft.
I
Like that's the
know.
thing. It's like
that is
they made
the struggle.
Avatar this year. Like this is like last year.
That's the coin flip.
Last year definitely was last year.
I mean,
Um,
they've also been making those Assassin's Creed games that I think are pretty mediocre, but up until Mirage, people seem to still like them quite a bit.
I will have you know that Valhalla also didn't do that well critically. A lot of that was the
Ah,
point where people started going, "Hang on, guys, are these games a bit too long?" And Ethan's answer was, "Yes, yes, they are." But I think Star. Let me put it this way, Hunter. I'll put it this way. It was on my potentials to pick up. I think it's if of any Ubisoft game that isn't Prince of Persia, if it has a chance of being good this year, it will be this one. This will be the good one.
yeah,
Maybe Assassin's Creed Red if that comes out, but again, it's Assassin's Creed. Roll that dice, baby, because who knows where that'll end up. I think it's a safer bet, especially because I feel like ever since Star Wars Battlefront 2, I feel like Disney's been a bit more paranoid about their IP in terms of
yeah,
Star Wars. I feel like they're trying to clean it up a bit, so I think it's a good pick.
yeah.
What's your next one?
I'm gonna go with The Plucky Squire. This didn't come out last
Ooh.
year. I think it's going to hit this year, and I think it's going to be probably one of the indie standouts of this year.
I don't like to say this early on because I know that usually the big indie kind of sensation of the year is sometimes one that just kind of comes out of nowhere, right? But Plucky Squire
Yeah.
is screaming to me like one of those. You know, it has
Mm.
it feels like it could be in a normal year, not last year, but it could be that sixth slot in the Game of the Year lineup that always is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
weird
Depending
quirky
on like
pick.
what,
Like, yeah,
depending on like the other
The
pre-announced, like
indie
Hollow Knight
darling.
could always come out this year, and then there goes that. But
Yeah.
that's fair enough. I'm going to add the Plucky Squire to your list. Good picks, Hunter. Good picks.
Thank
I'm
you.
vibing with them. If it makes you feel any better, that was on my list as well. Those were the next.
Cool.
The Plucky Squire was my next pick. So once again, I don't like being in this middle slot. You're clowning me out of so many picks. I don't like it.
Sucks, doesn't it?
It does. It's not great. But lucky for me, I've got plenty of games still to go. This is great. I love being prepared. It's like the opposite of last year. I've got like 20 games I could pick from here. I'm having the time of my life.
Mm.
Oh, that's Star Wars Outlaws. I lied. I have 19. Okay, I have 19.
You've ruined his whole draft now, Hunter.
Oh shucks.
You haven't. I'm gonna go for
Star
this
Wars
one.
was his ultimate sleeper pick.
I'm gonna go for this one. It's coming out later in the year. I literally last week said it could get pushed, but I'm gonna go through because I think a couple of my other ones are a bit more low key. They're a bit more sleeper, so I feel like I should get this one in now. Atlas, don't do me dirty. Metaphor, don't do me dirty. Bring this game out in fall and make it good, please. Thank you. I think this game will score well if it comes out. I'm rolling those dice on a fall 2024 release date.
I feel like it has, at least if nothing else, a bit higher chance of reviewing better than Soul Hackers did.
Oh yeah, because that's a Shin Megami Tensei spin-off, whereas this is like the way that Sega's been talking
They're
about it.
making a
Atlas,
new thing.
this is their third pin.
Persona adjacent.
This is like this is their new third pin. They're hoping that it's SMT, Persona, and this they made a whole new team for it. So it's like this is the new team. It's got a lot of the old veterans from Persona 3 through 5 on it as well. So it's like if it fails, that'll be iconic. So yeah. Putting a lot of faith in Atlas like I usually do. Let's hope it doesn't bite me in the arse like it has done in years prior. Kyle, you've got 2 picks.
Yeah. Just doing some shuffling around.
You having a little bit of a little look
having
around?
having a bit of a think, yeah.
Bit of a
Um
thinky?
Where are we in round 5?
Yeah,
Go ahead and put me down for Visions of Mana.
a good pick. This was gonna be one of my latter ones, but I also this is one of those ones where I don't know if you do the same, where you're thinking of these when you're looking at games lists and you're like, this is gonna be later in my list, but this is a Kyle kind of game, you know, where I'm like, or this is a Hunter
Oh
kind of game, where I'm
yeah,
like, I know that I don't care about this enough to get it now, but I know that someone's gonna sweep it under later, so it's like it was
yeah.
one of those ones. Um,
It's like how I wasn't expecting Octopath 2 to be on the table for very long last year.
You see, I just forgot though. I before it was taken before I even remembered Octopath 2 was coming out because I was that unprepared last year. But no, I think Visions of Mana is a good pick. It's a
Mm,
bit like Metaphor. If it comes out, I think it'll do very well. Um, I think it'll scratch that itch. But no, I think that's a good pick. Um, Kyle, what's your other pick?
good question.
No pressure, you know.
Um, well, no, you. So you took Metaphor, so I'm having to like adjust
How's
some
it
stuff
feel?
right
How's
now.
it feel? You did
I'm
it to me
just
two
not.
turns ago.
I'm just not as vocal about it as you were being.
Oh, please do. It makes much better content. Please do.
uh, that's not my style, man. Um,
I just hope Hunter's not doing really being emotionless. I just hope that every time that we pick something that he wants, he's just tilting his crown ever so slightly more.
Oh no, I'm only adjusting because like eventually it rests on my ear for too long and it hurts a little.
Yeah, that would be funny though. Just like by the time he's like a pirate, he's got one eye covered because he's tilted that much. Yeah, that would be funny. Anyway,
so my next pick, I'm gonna go with kind of an oddball pick. I'm probably taking this too early, but I don't really care. I'm gonna go with a game called Unicorn Overlord.
what the fuck is that? Right, okay.
Is that the Vanillaware game?
Yes,
Ah, good choice.
it's a tactics RPG
Yeah, okay, I
by
could.
Right, I'm
Vanillaware
100% saying
and
this.
published by
One, I think
Atlas
that's
and
a good
Sega.
pick because I hadn't even I did a scour of the internet for all the games coming out. This is coming out in March, and I didn't even know it. It missed multiple passes. I think it's a good pick.
Yeah,
Too
Vanillaware
early,
makes good stuff.
maybe, but also yeah, Vanillaware's solid. I feel like this is going to be a. I don't think you're going to regret it because either way, it's going to get you points. So
Yeah,
and it's got a solid date, so I vibe with that. I
and
think
yeah,
it's a good pick.
ridiculous name aside, the game actually looks pretty fun.
It's not as
So,
bad as Octopath Traveler, my friend.
dude, Unicorn
Or
Overlord.
Triangle Strategy. Yeah, Unicorn Overlord sounds fucking sick,
Various
dude.
day
Like,
life.
hey. Um, oh, do I go for that?
Do it, it'll be
What pick are
funny.
we on?
I think we're
6.
on. Oh yeah, it
6.
is 6 now.
I'm gonna do it because it's coming out soon. And it's one of the only few Nintendo games that we have left. Another Code. The remake of Another Code. I think that. Well, one I've played the demo and it was quite good. It's a visual novel kind of mystery game thing. Um, I just
like
think it's gonna.
those.
I think it's gonna scratch that itch for a lot of people, and I feel like I don't like to say Nintendo remake tax, but you know when Nintendo makes a remake, it's always of something that somebody gives a shit about, even though you've never heard of it, and then it's gonna be like when the reviews come
Yeah,
in,
yeah,
everyone's
I
gonna
remember
go,
like
"Another Code was my favorite DS game of all time." I'm like, who's heard of this?
I remember when I mocked like what was it, that one direct where it was like Super Famicom Detective Club or something. And we're like,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
And then it came out and they were
and then
good.
it came out and people were like, hey, this is actually cool. I'm like, oh, I stand corrected. I'm sorry.
But yeah, again, I feel like a bit like you, Cal, where I'm like, I don't know if this is probably too early to pick this now, but I also think it's gonna scratch that itch for the niche. So,
Yeah.
I think it's got 60% of people have counterpicked that, which I feel like I don't know. Is it because no, hear me out. I think is it because
They just haters.
no, is it because this? I know like sport. I don't like to say that it's like sports fantasy drafts are like really normie things, but do you think it's because like a really normie audience plays fantasy draft, like a load of Western like game players, so they were like, "What's that cringe fucking visual novel? Can't pick that." I don't know. Or
Yeah.
maybe it's a good one. Keep an eye on it, guys. maybe they're onto something. And I've made a mistake.
Keep it in her back pocket.
Mm. Remember, you do have to make one counter pick today, and so far, I don't like how this is going because I'm thinking these are all pretty solid. Hunter, you've got 2. Do you want to throw somebody a bone?
I don't know. I'm kind of just shooting from the hip now. Let's go with it's another fair bet for at least 10 points from Nintendo. Give me the Mario and Donkey Kong remake.
Oh, for fuck's sake. That was on my list as like a sly 849. God damn it. It's, yeah. Mario versus
Like,
Donkey
it probably
Kong
won't
remake.
do astronomically, but it'll help.
You'll get an 80, maybe. You'll probably
Yeah.
get an 80.
Yeah.
It'll be good enough.
Yeah. Okay. What's your second pick?
I'm gonna go with Earthblade. That is
Fuck!
the yes.
Yes. Kill him, Hunter. Kill him.
That's
Wasn't
the
my next
game
pick.
that's being
Wasn't
made
my next
by...
pick. But it was at the top of my sleepers. I was like, fuck!
That's the game that's being made by the people who did Celeste, and if that comes out, that'll be
Ooh.
fantastic.
Yeah, but I also want to put
Damn,
you. I
he's
also want to
good.
put you in the place of this could be this year's Hollow Knight.
It could
This
be.
could
I
be
don't know.
this year's Hollow Knight.
Send it.
Fine. See you on November 30th when you have to drop it.
Very cool. I don't know. One of you cowards could counterpick it.
Okay. That's gone. That's gone. Visions of Mana is gone. I'm not picking that. Bro, this is the mid. Right, okay.
Get in the corner.
Guys, it's that time of the fantasy draft where Ethan stretches his fucking hands
Is there a
and he
car game
presses
that we
the
forgot
draft new
about?
game and he goes for the most boring game you can possibly pick that will get him points. Ladies and
Hell
gentlemen,
yeah.
Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024.
Again?
The last one came out in 2020. You'll be surprised. It's been 4 years.
Wasn't that on your draft last year?
No?
No. It was on a...
No,
I
it's not been
swear
on
that
any
was
so
on your
far because we
list
haven't done a
last
draft
year.
since then. No?
No.
Last year was Forza. This is like this is airplane Forza, Kyle. This is airplane Forza.
Airplane Forza, that's a good way to...
But the reason that I'm picking it is because not
Because
only
the
was
last one
Microsoft
got
Flight
a
Simulator
90.
2020 really highly regarded, but they're adding stuff like races and a load of arcade stuff on top of the simulation. I think that this genuinely might be a hit. I think that when I saw them doing races and like little stunt planes, I'm like, are they gonna make me download Flight Sim? What is this? This looks sick.
That is pretty sick.
But yeah, I think it's a boring pick. But I'm also thinking I'm trying to load myself up on good now when I fucking flub the second half of the year, okay? Like, I need something to hold back on. Cal, you've got 2 picks. What have you got for
I
me?
do. Let's have some fun.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with I don't know what fantasy draft would list this under because it might have 2 names. Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 4.
Oh, it'd be Sparking
Fucking hell.
Zero is what you're
Yeah,
trying to...
Sparking Zero is the other name it has.
Yeah, it's Sparking Zero.
Yeah.
Are you sure? It's not even got 2024 currently as its listed date. Does someone want to do a
It's-
double check on that?
It said it was coming out 2024. But you
Okay.
know, I've got until November to drop it.
That's fine. That's fine. No, I'm just making
So-
sure that you're not getting fucked, okay? I just don't want to be. I'm just making sure because sometimes
Yeah.
fantasy draft isn't updated constantly, so it could be just an error on their part. But if
Yeah.
you're fine with that, then I'm fine to confirm it.
Yeah. Send it.
What's your next one?
And on the note of making Ethan spell things that
Oh, for
sound
fuck's
silly.
sake. Go for it. I'm gonna get
My
mad, not
favorite
because you're picking
Lava
something
too.
that I know that I want, but it's because of fucking spelling. Go for
It's
it.
my favorite pastime. I'm gonna go with Eiyuden Chronicle.
Oh, that one.
Eiyuden.
No need. It was on my list.
Oh, perfect.
100 Heroes. Good pick.
Yeah.
Good fucking. That's you know when we're talking about sleeper picks, that's a good fucking sleeper pick, dude. That is some good shit.
I
You
thought
know,
so.
it's the creators of Suikoden making a spiritual successor
making
to it.
knockoff Suikoden.
Yeah, like that is
Perfect.
that is good. That's the good shit when you're talking about sleeper picks. I'm kind of mad, but I respect it because I was also going to do that. I'm gonna go For slightly risky, I say slightly risky, but I don't think it's that risky, to be honest. Or is it? Do I save that one for a Hail Mary? I might save that one for a Hail Mary. Yeah, I'm gonna pick that one. That one's. I'm gonna go for my last, what I think will probably be my last normie pick of the draft. Give me Avowed. I think that this game is definitely picked for 2024. I think this game is going to be good because it seems like Obsidian have become the company.
Obsidian is really consistent.
Yeah, they've become the company that makes Bethesda games better than Bethesda. So I'm hoping, even though people are saying that Avowed, after they bought Bethesda, now it's not being just a complete clone of Skyrim, they're doing something slightly new with it. I still think that the team that's behind it and all of that jazz, I still think it's solid enough that they're going to do something good with it.
I mean, maybe the design philosophy behind it will be not archaic, for example.
Maybe that's the spin they're doing, is what if we make one that doesn't feel like it's from 2010?
What if we made it good?
What if it wasn't based on Fallout 3 from 2008? That'd be crazy. So yeah, I'm going to add Avowed to my list. Hunter, 2 picks now. These are your 8th and 9th picks for the draft, just so you're keeping ahead.
8 and 9. All right. Well, in that case, let's go with Black Myth Wukong, I guess. I think it'll be. It looks cool.
Is it bad that Ethan's doing his ethics thing again, where it's like, I could have been like, this was on my list, but I like Hogwarts Legacy, where I'm like, it's gonna score well. I'm also like, now that in my head I know that at least some of the leads on this Steep game are fucking horrible people. I'm like, I don't know if I can toggle it.
Didn't
but
you
Hunter,
draft Diablo last year?
I was desperate, Hunter. I was desperate. Also, they fired all the shitheads, Hunter. They fired them, allegedly.
Unless I have a report of like Blizzard and Activision employees holding a parade for good morale because they feel like it. I'm not gonna believe this. So
you've got a good point, Hunter, but I'm not as desperate this year. Let's be real. I'm not as desperate, okay? Ethan's learned from his ways. I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy now. Fuck it, you take your monkey game. I don't care. I'm a good boy. I'm Obi-Wan Kenobi, bitch. You can't stop me. I have the high ground.
I guess I will take the monkey game. I really didn't remember that until you brought it up, but
it's fine.
No,
I mean, do you want me to drop it for you? You can have it.
No, I don't care.
No.
Like I say, Kyle picked. Let's be real here. Kyle picked the Wizard game last year, and that was a far more controversial game. So I feel like we're fine.
I'm still friends with Kyle. We're still buddies.
No, Kyle, you offended me too much. You ruined.
I can't wait to hand this crown off to you at the end of the year.
No, thanks, King.
Not if I have anything to say about it. Roll up my sleeves.
Shut up, peasant.
Sorry, sir. Hunter, you got another pick, mate.
Oh, right. Okay,
we are getting into. Let's be real here. We're getting into some Hail Mary territory now. A lot of the big AAA games that are announced have already been picked.
Is what I want to pick.
What was that?
Mina the Hollower.
Oh,
I don't know what this is.
It's the next game from the Shovel.
Yacht Club.
Shovelman team. Is it Shovel Knight?
Shovelware.
Shovelman.
So if it comes out, it'll be great.
Shovelman. My favorite game.
I love Shovelman.
I love Shovelman.
My favorite Mega Man boss.
Solid pick. I completely forgot about this one, man. Nice pick.
I never knew about it, so good job.
I was gonna pick it last year, but I didn't trust them to release it, and at least I made that right call.
Yeah, it was on my radar for last year, but I was like, I'm not gonna commit to
this
this until
game's
I hear
over
it.
a year old. Shite.
It's been announced for a long time. It's late
been announced
2022.
for a while, yeah.
But no, I think that's a good pick. I think you've got a high chance of that coming out this year. You got a higher chance of that than Hollow Knight. Speaking of Hollow Knight, no, I'm kidding.
I was about to say I can't wait for Hollow Knight to be someone's last round draft.
Well, I'm looking at my games now, and that's all gone. And unless I feel like doing Zenless Zone Zero, and I don't feel like doing that, No Hoyo, no
After
Hoyo
he
on my fucking
chastises me
board.
for picking the monkey
Yeah.
game, it'd be hilarious if he came around and did that.
How many more picks do I have? 2?
2.
I think it's 2.
Yeah, this is 9. Well, 2 and then your unannounced game.
You know what? Fuck it, we ball, dude. Fuck it, we ball.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's the spirit.
I'll see you on November 30th, bitch, because I'm drafted Hollow Knight Silksong.
Incredible.
You know, it's like
Dude, if every indie game that we've
like
selected comes out
Hollow
this
Knight-
year, it's gonna be.
Dude, Hollow Knight's a bad X, and I'm going back, and I don't know why, dude. Like, this is such a tragic idea, but you know.
I wasn't gonna pick it, but Hunter, remember a couple weeks ago when Ethan said we can have Hollow Knight if we wanted it?
Oh yeah, but who
And
cares?
you know,
That he's going back on this again.
yeah, but
2
here's the
years
thing,
in a
Kyle,
row.
is now that I've seen,
it's
I've seen
funny
you
because
eyeing up-
this is one to actually be upset about if you planned for it, because Hollow Knight is a far better game than Engage once it
Yeah.
comes out.
Yeah, I also want to say as well that
We just shouldn't take Ethan at his word when he
Don't
says
take-
that.
no,
Oh, I
right,
still
okay,
don't.
right, okay, don't. Right, one, that was a passive comment, right? I'm not fucking signing shit. I don't remember
I'm
what we
sorry,
did
I
last
guess I
week
did.
on the podcast.
I phrased my previous remark a little aggressively, and I did
Right,
not
next,
mean to
right.
be
Next time, you
coming
want
at
me
you
to
there.
Next time, I want you guys to go, okay, sign it. This is your word, instead of just some random superfluous bullshit that's come out of Ethan's mouth. I say so much random shit. I can't keep track of it all.
Yeah.
And what can I say? When you see people eyeing up, when you see people eyeing up something that you used to have, you run back, dude. You run back. What can I say? The jealousy's kicking in, Kyle. What can I say? Anyway, your final 2 picks.
All right. My number 9 pick, I'm going to take Under Night in Birth 2.
What the fuck is that?
It's a
the
fighting
sequel to
game.
Under Night in
Oh,
Birth.
okay.
Made by a company named French Bread.
That's a good one.
That's a good
Under
one.
Night in Birth 2. January 25th.
Correct. Around the same time as Tekken.
That's a
Same
terrible
week,
idea.
actually.
Right. Hear me out, whoever's making this. Delay it to April or something, mate. Like that. Give yourself some bit of breathing room, you know.
No,
an Alan
don't delay
Wake.
it to April. I played the demo and I missed it so much.
So
Even better. Delay it to
Yeah.
April.
I
Make Kyle
understand why
suffer.
you would think it's a bad idea because of Tekken being the
But also
bigger one.
yeah. Fighting game
It's
fans.
Tekken
and
It's two
fighting game
different.
fans.
It's 2 different audiences.
Yeah, Tekken's a
Yeah.
3D fighter and more
Yeah.
normie, whereas this will probably the people who will want this will probably get it
Yeah.
when it's
Okay.
coming out.
Kyle,
I mean, I'm not getting Tekken. I'm getting Under Night instead.
that's going to be a very interesting podcast episode. Kyle,
It will be.
no pressure.
Nah,
This is your last
no
one.
pressure at all, dude. My final pick, I'm going to go with Rift of the Necrodancer.
Good one.
That
This is one I told him to draft last year, except it was
This was
slated
announced
for
last year.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
But
damn.
before I told you to draft Cocoon, I think I
Well, yeah.
said that.
This is what I'll say about it. I think it's a risky pick because again, it's not fully confirmed, but I think it's a safer pick than Hollow Knight. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's a fair pick. I didn't realize that was not. You know what? I went to like 4 different websites and no one had this listed.
I remember it
thank
because-
Game Informer.
I remember this one because Jules announced that he was doing the music for it. Like
That's a good
full
pick.
send.
That's a good damn pick.
I was sitting there last year hoping that it would be announced for last year, and so I could just stack it.
Oh. Okay. There's multiple games that I want here, and it's like, do I take one that's... Here's the thing, is because we've got that unannounced fucking Yahtzee fucking 360 no-scope to wrap it
Built
up.
in now, so I'm like sitting here like, what do I do for
I'm
my
sitting here
last
going,
one that I
do I
usually
do
make
my do I
funny?
do my Hail Mary random throw at the fucking regular draft as well, or do I just save that? Because I've got one that I'm
Send
like,
it.
no, 'cause
Join
no.
me in Wacky Town, Ethan.
Well, no, here's the thing is, no, because last time, Hunter, you gave me a piece of advice, Hunter, last year, and it was follow your heart. And what did that get me? That got me Crash Team Rumble at a 69, dude. And that's like,
Was
my
that
heart
even
is-
your heart, or was that you just having a giggle?
it was both. Why not both? As I
The
like
heart
to
was
say.
giggling.
Your heart went
So
into Diablo?
I could
That was after the initial
my
draft.
heart pick is the Wolf Among Us 2 because I love the first Wolf Among Us. I think it's fantastic. But also, this is a completely different Telltale. It's a completely different time, and I feel like this is something
And it
that I'd
might
much
not
rather
ever come
fight with
out.
on the battlefield with some bets later if it
Yeah.
gets an actual release date than if I
Yeah.
fucking YOLO it now.
That's fair, because
But I also know that my other choices that I have here, I know that Hunter's not got it on his list, so it's like I don't know.
Oh,
You're
are
not
they
gonna
just
pick.
normie stuff?
Pardon?
Or this is just other normie stuff that I would never consider?
No, it's indie games I don't think you know exist.
Oh.
Well, that's not true.
Thanks, Kyle. I appreciate the endorsement.
I'm gonna go with potentially leaving The Wolf Among Us until we get a date, because I think I'm taking Kyle's word more this year, where it's like,
Oh, damn.
other than Avowed and Silk Song, ignore those. Get some games in that are coming out in the first half of this year. Not necessarily have to have a date, but as long as they're aiming for that, it's a good place to be at. So I'm gonna go for a
Hey, it did
game
me good.
that you might not have heard of, or you probably have, but it's called Penny's Big Breakaway,
Oh, yeah.
and it's by the team that
No
made
idea.
Sonic Mania.
That's a good
It's
shout.
their new 3D platformer. And it's built for speedrunners and nerds, and I feel like this is gonna be some
That
fucking
did
spicy
wonders
shit.
for Neon White, so that's a good pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's scheduled for early 2024. Don't do me dirty. But I forgot that it was coming out, and as soon as I saw the trailer, I was like, I'm gonna play the shit out of this wherever it is, dude. I'll download it on Steam for this. This looks good. So don't let me down, Sonic Mania team. Thank
Don't
you.
worry, Sonic Mania was one of the good ones.
It was the
Yeah.
good one, you may
So-
say.
It's been
It
the
was-
good one in our lifetime.
Yeah. Hunter, what's your
All
final
right.
pick?
Well, because the Mimi goofy prediction thing is built in now, I guess I can choose a meme in a different route. Sign me up for another Crab's Treasure.
Oh, good pick. Good
I like
pick.
Kyle. He's like, stop making things up for this. I hate you.
No, that's such a good pick.
I believe it.
Dude. That's a good pick. It's the
Ugh.
Crab Dark Souls clone, dude. That's
Yeah,
great.
it's
Oh,
the crab Soulsborne. You like find different shells and it changes the properties.
what
I
the
can't wait to
fuck?
play this game.
And it looks just as good as it sounds.
Yeah.
It looks so goofy. That's such a
Oh
good final
my
pick.
God.
That's great.
Ugh.
Anyway. So, and that's that. So
Why'd it
it's
go
time
back
to
to me?
draft counterpicks next, apparently. I will say
Yeah.
this, we will be doing our unannounced games now as well. I don't know if that was part of the drafting process, but we will be doing those today. We're not having you get to Hail Mary later. You Hail Mary right now, start of the year, baby. You gotta lock that in.
So we're
we'll do
doing
Oh,
counterpicks
counterpicks
first,
now.
and then we're ending
Yes.
with a Hail Mary.
Okay.
And because of
Just
the way of a
fixing
snake
that.
draft, Kyle, I don't really envy you, to be honest, because I think this is going to be the hardest counter picks that we've ever had to do right here. I'm not gonna lie, I honestly think that it's gonna be this is genuinely gonna be one of those ones where it's like hoping it's not coming out. Like this is gonna be really interesting. Where's your mind going at the moment, Kyle, when you look at mine and Hunter's lists? I'm looking at everybody's and going fucking like either something gets delayed or you're hoping on a prayer that it's shit. This is like I'm not even just speaking about my list. I'm looking at your two lists and I'm like, where do I even start?
I'm gonna follow the normies and go with another code.
You're gonna go with another code? Okay.
Yeah. Recollection?
Another code. I think it's not a bad counter pick because I think if it does score well, it's probably going to sit around an 80. So that's what my guess would be. And with I'm not going to drop it anyway because it's coming out this month. So I'm
Yeah.
fine with locking that in. I wasn't gonna drop it. I think that's fair. I don't know what the fuck to do with this because it's like we're playing with fire here. We're really
There's a lot
playing.
of options where it's like if it doesn't, it might, the good old hope it doesn't come out, and if it does, you're taking a punch in the throat.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. I'm just gonna do a tiny bit. I'll swap back to the big webcams. Hello, this is what our faces usually look like. I'm gonna
man.
do a quick.
Man's doing a Google.
I'm doing a bit of
Quick little
doing a bit of Google, bit of
Did I Am Jesus Christ ever come out?
I don't think so.
Oh
That's a
man, I
great
can't believe
question.
we left that on the table for a third year in a row.
I'm gonna do that again, Kyle. I'm in your same
Sup?
ballpark where I'm like, I think it might be better to just bite the 80 than it is to go for a Mina the Hollow or a Nerf Blade here, where it's like those are some terrifying picks because if they come out, it's like going for a Hollow Knight. You can shoot that bullet and be like, I'm 75% sure I'm fine, but
Yeah.
that 25%, you're fucked. If it gets a 90, that's like 20 odd points gone.
You're fucked.
So I'm just going to go for what I think is going to be a game that will probably get an 80, and that's Mario vs. Donkey Kong Remake.
Yeah, 80.
Because I
Fair.
just looked up the original and it had an 81, so I'm like, it's not going to go higher than an 80. If that gets an 85, I'll be like really annoyed.
I would genuinely be shocked.
I'm gonna laugh a lot if that happens.
But I think that's because, like I say, my only other options really are the other one that I was looking at was Star Wars, but that's such a gamble because
I feel like
remember
Star Wars has like mid 80s
potential. Yeah, definitely. And also, I remember the last time I thought that game looks a bit janky for a Star Wars game was Jedi Fallen Order, which was a janky game, but an excellent one at the end of the day.
Got like an 83 or something, I think, or an 82.
So yeah, I'm going to go with Mario vs. Donkey Kong as my first counter pick, and I will be telling you right now, I will not be putting a counter pick in on anybody else's right now because I feel like it's a bit too volatile.
Yeah.
Hunter,
These do look like really strong drafts.
it's a bit, yeah. I'm very
I'm proud of us.
impressed.
I can't wait to see our unannounced games.
All right.
Hunter,
I think the one that this is a very
you've gone quiet again, my lord.
Alrighty. Dragon Ball Z. Counterpick that one.
Ooh.
Oh fuck! I forgot you even did that one. That's bastard. That's why you're the king, dude. That's why you're the king. That's why you're the king.
Even if it does, I'm not sure it'll hurt me that much.
My liege, that is why you're on top. I did not even notice. Dragon Ball Z was just crawling in the undergrowth. I was like, no.
Hey, it's me, Goku.
Anime shit. Why didn't I think of that sooner? Oh well. Right, there you go. Select game as counterpick. It says that it is done. However, we're
not done.
Not done. Add a publisher game. So I can do that. And should not be added games to players. Pardon, managers should not be adding games to players' rosters. It says. But when I go to, can I go to special auction? Blah blah blah. Overrider will not release. Score a game manually. Change the year. Blah blah.
How much points do we get if we are right about this?
You get whatever points it scores if it comes out in the year.
Oh, I thought it just has to exist.
No.
No.
Okay. It has to exist and come out this year.
Come out.
All right.
It's a true It's a Metroid Dread, Hunter. It's a Metroid Dread.
Classic. All right, that makes this even more interesting.
Time to speak it into existence, Hunter.
Oh.
So, who went first on the counter pick? Kyle?
I did.
Hunter, you're back in the first unannounced Hail Mary.
Yeah.
No pressure.
I'm just having a look at their.
I think the fun thing about doing this year is, as we said, 2024, especially second half of 2024, is a bit of a wild west out there. You know, we don't know what's coming out. It could be anything. Sony has nothing really announced for this year other than Helldivers 2. Why did no one pick that? Wow, that's crazy.
I don't even know if this is on the table to like pick, because really, like what I would be trying to do is be like, yes, Blue Point's game that they surely are making would be a great pick for this kind of thing. But I don't know if that's possible to select.
I don't know if it is. Hang on. Let me chime in on. Oh gosh, even learn to spell challenge impossible. Unannounced Blue Point. Right. It doesn't look like it's coming up. Unannounced Bloodborne remaster or unannounced Bloodborne sequel are on there.
Yeah.
Unannounced mainline Sly Cooper game. Oh, a man can dream.
Oh,
Um,
pray.
Dude, some of these unannounced things in their little tab here are the most wishful of wishful thinking. It's
Yeah.
what are you on about,
hilarious.
dude? I really hope Persona 6 comes out this year.
Mm.
So no, it looks like you can't do developer. You have to go franchise
Alrighty.
from the launch. So I'm putting Blue Point in, right? Like if I do unannounced Naughty Dog, that doesn't come up with something, does it? No.
It's really annoying because there's unannounced Hazelight game off in like page 5 here.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Oh.
Next, Tony Hawk. No pressure,
all right.
Hunter.
You know what? Send it. Speaking things into existence is what I like to do, and I've been trying to speak this into existence for 23 years. Unannounced Dino Crisis remake.
Oh my god. Dino Crisis.
My man.
This will be the needle mover that
so
Capcom
good,
is
bro. So good.
talking about.
Right, I'm hoping that when I click add this to publish it, it puts it in your unannounced slot, or else if we're gonna have a bit of a fucking nightmare and you might have to do it yourself. Right, we'll test the waters. That's a good. Let's have a look. That worked. We're good. That works.
Cool.
We're good.
Sweet.
Awesome.
That you're hoping that Capcom is like, we got it.
We heard what you said about Exo Primal, and we're sorry.
That's fair. You see, there are two ways that I can go about this. Oh, this is the problem, is I have three games right now that are unannounced that I think are realistic that could potentially come out this year. I really do.
There's a myriad of options for Nintendo, I believe.
That's what you know,
Yeah.
Kyle, because we're doing this as a Hail Mary here, and I doubt that anyone else is going to nick my other two Hail Marys to put in their actual fucking draft like a psychopath. I'll say them out loud. 3D Mario game.
And Mario Kart.
Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Spyro. Those are my three that I
Spyro.
would... There's still a small copium part of me that's like, it's coming
Spyro's
out
not
second half of the
happening.
year, but that's why I'm saying, so I'm really between 3D Mario and Mario Kart. Which one do I think's more believable to be a Switch 2 launch title? And in my head,
3D Mario.
it's 3D Mario. Because where the fuck have they been? Odyssey was 2017. What the fuck have they done?
Yeah.
I really hate it as well because I've always been so kind of mixed on 3D Marios where I'm like, they're fine. And then when I finally find one I absolutely loved, like Odyssey, like I 100%ed Odyssey, I absolutely adored it. I'm like, they're 100% going to make a sequel to it. It's first year Switch game. There's going to be an Odyssey 2. I can't wait. And I never got one. And I'm still mad.
They're like, best we can do is 3D World Bowser's Fury.
Yeah.
How's that sound?
That sounds awful. Unannounced. Mario. Yeah, unannounced 3D Mario platformer. That's what I'm going to go with. I still hope Spyro 4 is here, and I will give $100 of my V-Buck money to get Spyro 4. Please.
That's all
please,
your V-Bucks?
I don't care. I'll just lose, but I'll have Spyro 4, and that's all that matters. That's what I really want. But I trust Activision about as far as I can throw Bobby Kotick, which isn't very far, because I'm not very strong, unfortunately. So yeah,
I'd love to watch.
I'm
you
going with
try,
unannounced mainline 3D
That
Mario
would be
platform. I
fun.
also think that's got to be the launch game, right? Even
It's
if we get
gotta be.
Metroid,
Surely.
Metroid, no one's
Yeah, like
buying a
Metroid's
Switch
not
2
going
for
to be the
Metroid.
thing that they sell the console with.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with, and throw my hat into the ring and pray.
Mhm.
Mainly because I want it. I can see why you do this every year anyway, Hunter, because I do just want things sometimes, you know?
It is
I
just fun, you know?
I just want things sometimes.
It's like even
Oh, I
when
didn't
they
change it
come
back to the
true-
gameplay website. My bad. There you go,
No,
guys.
it's-
My
even when
bad.
they come true and whatever, it's fun to just say that you said it, like with Silent Hill. Even though now I'm very
You
upset.
genuinely for
You
6
don't
months
wanna.
did not let Metroid Dread go. You were so high on that for so long, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'd be too
Dude,
if
it
I
was
fucking
really
pulled that
funny.
out of my hat. Yeah, that was incredible.
It's the good stuff.
Kyle,
All right. So,
you feeling any
uh,
dreams?
yes,
lucky?
actually. Funnily enough, this was something that I actually thought about before you told us we were doing, and you saw that there was pick an unannounced game.
Yeah, you're on
I
another
was
level.
actually gonna do a hunter this year and make my 10th round pick just a Hail Mary for funsies.
Go for it, mate. Go for
But
it.
now I don't have to. So do y'all remember the Nvidia leak from a couple years ago?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
There was a
It's come true a
little game
bunch.
on there that was on there. A lot of stuff on there's come true,
Yep.
but there's one that hasn't been brought up yet, and that's the Final Fantasy IX remake.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Dude,
here's the thing.
if that comes out this year with FF7, that'd be
Yeah.
insane.
I don't think it's gonna happen, but it'd be real cool if it did.
It would be cool.
Is it on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be. I think it was in the pages.
It's
when I was
IX.
looking
Yeah,
at it.
I did 9
Yeah.
instead of IX.
It's IX, yeah.
I think
Goober.
here's the thing, right? 2 years ago, if you said that if we had a year Final Fantasy VII remake was coming, say let's go back to 2020 and Final Fantasy VII remake was coming out, and you said to me, I predict that Final Fantasy IX remake could also come out that year, I'd call you fucking stupid. But the fact that we're getting 16 and 7 Part 2 in around a 7-month time frame, I'm like, Square doesn't care. If a game's done, they just chuck it out now. That's their motto. So I'm like, I 100% can see
Whether
that
they
happening.
should or not in some cases.
Yeah.
I choke about GP.
I also, when in my head, when I think about it, I'm like, you know what? I can also 100% see a world where they would announce and release a 9 remake before releasing Kingdom Hearts 4 that was announced a year ago. I can 100% see
Or
that
the
because
rest
that's a
of Final
Square Enix
Fantasy
special.
VII, yeah. Because like FF9 probably is getting a treatment more of like it's gonna look prettier.
Yeah.
They're not gonna change
Rather than a full open world remake.
It doesn't exactly lend
7.
itself to the same kind of goofy storytelling that Nomura is trying to do with FF7.
Yeah. 9 was
Yeah,
a lot
I
more
feel like if they
grounded.
do a 9 remake is going to be just one part. You get the big 9 remake. It's
Yeah.
maybe like maybe they do add some little bits and pieces, but it'll be like a 40 or 50 hour game instead of a 30,
Yeah,
and it's like that's about it.
Beatrix is a party member.
Yeah.
That'd be
God,
cool.
please, Beatrix. She was
Well,
so cool.
That's a good one.
And I mean, like, this is just a for fun pick. Like, we're not losing anything by having it.
No, you don't lose anything.
That's
It's
what you
only to
think.
gain.
If none of them come true, it's -50.
If it doesn't happen, Fantasy Draft comes to your house and breaks your ankles.
Here's the thing. I think your twos are more Hail Marys than mine. If mine's wrong, I'm just depressed because that means we're getting a new Nintendo console with just Metroid. Then I'll be like, fucking, well, that's miserable.
Dude, I feel like the chances of Metroid coming out without Mario are nothing. Like, if we're getting a new Nintendo console without Mario, we're not getting Metroid either.
Yeah, but Hunter, you've got to admit.
Which means
I also think
that it's going to be like Nintendo Land 2 or something.
There's a 50% chance that their launch game for the Switch 2 is just Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom again. Just is like a package running better.
And
that's
it's going
100%.
to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Nintendo's
Buy it
like,
for
you
the
know what's a
sick
great
box
launch
art that they should
title
have used.
to Switch 2? Here's the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess ports you've been waiting for.
That's the spirit.
You know, something miserable. But oh well. I think this is a
So,
really strong fantasy draft. Let's
Yeah,
wrap
this
it
looks
up
real good from all of
by
us.
everybody reading off their fantasy drafts for all of our wonderful audio listeners who have had to listen to a bunch of nonsense for the past hour and a half. Hunter, shall we start with Pretty Swell Publishing? What games do you have currently selected?
all right. My list is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, Princess Peach Showtime, Star Wars Outlaws, The Plucky Squire, Mario vs. Donkey Kong (parentheses remake), Earthblade, Black Myth Wukong, Mina the Hollower, and Another Crab's Treasure.
I need to go study this crab game later.
Dude, I love the sudden influx of crab games, like Crab Champion or whatever that is that I saw a trailer for last year.
I'm just amazed that I don't think you've brought this game up to me yet.
Really?
Me and
I don't
Hunter have
think-
definitely talked about this in the past. I don't know if it was
I
on the
feel like I've
podcast,
mentioned
but we've
this
definitely had a
before.
conversation about it.
Like,
I don't remember this.
this is one of those games that I recall seeing and being like, "Hey guys, look at this stupid thing that I can't wait to play."
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
It's like when Ethan brought up AK Zalata last year; it had the exact same kind of energy.
Yeah. You should also mention you're unannounced in your counter pick because you didn't do that.
Oh right, my
Your laptop
unannounced
screen's too
game.
small.
Yeah, my counter pick is Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero.
Still
And my
pissed off about that.
unannounced
That's probably the
game-
best one.
Yeah, and my unannounced game is Dino Crisis Remake.
That's a yeah. They've got to do it at some point. Keep guessing that, Hunter. You'll get it eventually.
Yeah, dude.
I've been
It's
putting
like me with
Capcom's
the
running out of
Legend of
shit to
Dragoon
shovel
remake.
out. Like, yeah, they're running out of franchises. Come on, they got it.
The well on Resident Evil is gonna be dry soon.
Either that or they're gonna have to stop doubling teams, making even more Resident Evil teams to crank them all out.
Yeah.
Or they're gonna start getting desperate.
The
They're gonna be like,
Resi 2 remake.
here's the
Honestly, picking a
Revelations 1 and
Resident
2
Evil
remakes.
game,
Here's the
picking
yeah.
one of the Resident Evil games probably would have been a fair bet, like a
Code
one or
Veronica.
Code Veronica.
I saw
yeah.
that in the list too. Yeah.
Code Veronica
like
or
a-
5 would have been a good thing
Yeah.
because Capcom's 100% the kind of people that show up to whatever we call the summer week now that people announce games and then just go, look, here's another Resident Evil. It's coming out in October. See you later. Bye. And then walk away.
I honestly wouldn't be shocked if they just kind of like shotgun out a bunch of the GameCube era, like all of the ones that came before 5, but actually all of these came before 4 as well. All of those that haven't happened yet.
Yeah.
I can see that.
We still have we gotten a proper remake of Resi 1 yet?
No, there's the GameCube remake, but there's not
Yeah,
But not like a modern
not a modern remake.
not an over the shoulder third person kind of deal. No.
It's interesting, right? Because you know, I remember people were. This is completely off topic, but fuck it, we're this far in.
We're
I
in the
think it's
outro
interesting
part of the video now.
Resi 3 remake was really controversial at the time because it was only 4 or 5 hours long, but it had the multiplayer mode to kind of try and convince people it was worth the price at launch, right? So it would be interesting if they did take something like Code Veronica or Resi 1, which if they did end up remaking might be slightly shorter, and then maybe bundling them
They
together.
could package 0 and 1 together.
0 and 1 would be a good idea, yeah.
That would make more sense. Because
Yeah.
that's what they were originally trying to do with 2 and 3. It was just that, but it didn't happen. So
Maybe they'll do it.
And honestly, I think that as a higher, it would sell better than 0 would on its own.
True. Anyway, no Resident Evil here. Let's move on. Ethersoft, which is my
Yet.
fourth name for my failing company. Maybe this time will be a bit more successful. Just keep filing for bankruptcy. You can start again fresh, guys. That's how it works.
You won the first 2 years.
Yeah, but that was you know when you're playing
What do you mean
Mario
you're
Kart.
bankrupt?
You know when you're playing Mario Kart with your younger cousin and they don't know what to fucking do. And it's like you're
Okay,
sitting
fair.
there and you're like, I don't know whether I should thrash them or let go of the brake, let go of the acceleration during round 3 so that I still win, but I still feel like it's close so that they feel better. Like the first couple of years, I feel like I had the assist mode on a bit. So I was like, because I didn't want to. But now last year, you two were like, nah, fuck it. We'll be good this year. I'm like, fuck, I should have. I still have the assisted difficulty on. I need to turn that off. So I'm going in
The
hard
training
this
wheels
time.
are off.
Training wheels are off. Anyway, Ethersoft, this is my picks. Persona 3 Reload, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, Dragon's Dogma 2, Metaphor ReFantasio, Another Code Recollection, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. I feel like that's the odd one out, but it's okay. You're family to me, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. I love you still. Unless you're shit, then I'll hate you. Fucking Avowed. Same goes for you. Basically, Xbox gang, you're still on my list. I saw how Starfield did. Come on now. Let's try a bit harder this time.
Man, 2 Xbox
Senua will be
games.
better than Starfield if it comes out.
Yeah.
I believe
Yeah.
it.
Senna was in its league of its own, Kyle. I know that one will be fine.
Yeah.
Hollow Knight Silk Song. Don't burn
Again.
me. And then my 10th pick is Penny's Big Breakaway from the team from Sonic Mania. My unannounced game is an unannounced mainline 3D Mario platformer. I picked the white bread of Hail Marys right there, so I hope that I get my fucking prize for
To
it.
be fair to you, I looked at it and thought about just picking that one because I really didn't have any ideas for this coming into here.
Oh, and if you had picked that, I would have gone for the other white bread option of Mario Kart. I would have been like, yeah, it's one or the other. And then my counter pick is the Mario vs. Donkey Kong remake. Cal, take us home.
All right. So down for Team Kaiba Corp, we've got the Paper Mario Thousand Year Door (parentheses) remake, Tekken 8, Tales of Kenzera Zao, Rise of the Ronin. I picked a lot of hard titles.
You did.
Visions of Mana, Unicorn Overlord, Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero, Ayuden Chronicles 100 Heroes, Undernight in Birth 2, Cicelas, and Rift of the Necrodancer. My unannounced game is the Final Fantasy IX Remake, and my counterpick is Ethan's Another Code Recollection.
Oh, yeah. I do
Hell
also
yeah.
want to say that with the whole, remake, reload things, Recollection is a good one. I'm like, we haven't
Yeah.
had that yet. I'm like, that's a good fucking pun on that. Like
That's
that.
a good one. Especially if it's like a mystery game or whatever. It's like
Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah.
a mystery game as well, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's a very good one. It's about memories and stuff, so yeah, good one.
I have a question on like the minutia of the unannounced game thing. Can you does it only give you the one special slot? Because I feel like next time it could be fun to do one that we similar to the counter picks where we do one that we Hail Mary at the draft and then another one we do later.
Yeah, you can do
I
it.
think
Maybe
that could
next
be
year.
arranged.
Maybe
Yeah,
next year.
I think that could be fun to do next time.
Mhm.
I didn't really think about it until we were halfway through, and I'm like, oh,
Well, next year you will
right.
know for certain, Hunter, that there will be a Hail Mary attempt at the end. So you have a whole 12 months to think about what your next diabolical Hail Mary will be.
To be fair, I spend a lot of the year just kind of thinking about that anyway.
I was going to say, when you said that you hadn't thought about it, I'm like, what, this week? You usually are. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But no. It's going to be a crazy year for the fantasy draft. Like I say, I'm looking at these and I'm like, okay.
If every
I think
game
Guns
on
of-
these lists comes out this year, it'll be really good.
I think Guns are blazing here. Like, genuinely, I'm like, wow. 'Cause yeah, what if all the games on your first 10 score an 80, you score an 80, then that's 100 points already. Like, you're good. And I feel like that's over halfway to my fucking original score last year. So it's like, yeah, but that's good. And well done, everybody. No one picked Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. So good job, everybody. We did that. Proud.
Yeah.
I
But
don't
Ethan's
believe in that game.
Rockstar.
Neither do I, dude. Neither do I.
Do I?
But yeah, that's it, I guess. That's our fantasy draft special for 2024. The beginning of it, I guess. You can keep up to regular updates, by the way, if you do go to the website. If you go to Hot Games, I should have said this at the fucking start. If you go to hotgamersonly.com, in fact, why do I say that? I've got the thing set up so you can see the website. Look at this. Go to hotgamersonly.com. Wow, what a great website. Click this little button up here at the top, Fantasy Draft. Look at that, the little Fantasy Draft. You click that, and it'll take you to the wrong year if you're like me and you're in the past, but I'll update that so that it goes to the future right now. And then you'll be here, and you'll have an up-to-date look at everything. So just go to hotgamersonly.com, click on Fantasy Draft. You'll get your latest look at all of that. And we try to do like biannual updates. So usually in June we'll have an update, and then we'll have obviously the conclusion again following that. So we'll always keep you up to date on how it's going and stuff like that. You can usually tell by our first impressions as well if someone's got it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it'll be fun. But hey, that's that, I guess. Thank you ever so much for coming to this Fantasy Draft special. Next week, it's a little episode for us. Kind of. It's weird. It's episode 200 of the HGO podcast next week, which is kind of crazy. That's a big deal. But also, it's in the middle of a season because our seasons are 52 episodes long. So it's weird. So it's like, okay, it's big.
The aggravating thing about doing the yearly stuff is the big numbers never match up with like the weekly anniversary for like a year thing.
We could have taken Christmas and New Year's off, and we would have been good. But you know, we would have had to have done that every year prior, because now it's going to be what 208 when we start the next season. So it's like, yeah,
Yep.
It's a bit off, but 209 even, because 208 season, whatever. You get the chance. But yeah, episode 200 is next week. What will we do to celebrate? Who knows? We're still figuring it out ourselves. Maybe we'll have somebody here. I don't know. We'll see if they're awake for it. It might just be us three again. Hunter might wear his crown to celebrate again. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we'll find out next week, I guess. But yeah, thank you ever so much for hanging out with us this week, guys. Like I said, we'll be back same time, same place next week for more. But until then, have an awesome week. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
Toodaloo.